Hey, side of the story, Shady was never drug. I did just like Tea Time. Tea Time dissected and put in how she felt that the messages led, and I gave my own perspective. That's not dragging her. So for me, I'm not talking about Good Yellow and anybody else that drug her. I never disrespected her. I did like everybody else. I put my ones and twos on it and spent that shit. So you're wrong on that part, sir.
No, I'm saying, and even in those, even in her responses, she kept saying, "I don't have a problem with Miss Netra. I don't have a problem with everybody in FOE. I have a problem with certain people in FOE." So
I would really like to know who. I'm really curious on who is she talking about that did any or said anything about her. Nobody paid Shaded no mind after she left Tracy's platform for whatever happened over there with them. Nobody spoke about Shaded. No one. I don't remember not one live over here at the mansion. Okay, I can't speak for no other places where she was spoken about. We didn't even remember her. That's the truth. Until she brought herself up in the situation after something happened with Good Yellow. Nobody was thinking about this female, this girl.
Can I ask you a question, Bright Eye? Can I ask you a question?
I mean, yeah, you can ask it.
Are you the one that said trip her?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I did.
So she had a reason to feel some type of way if somebody's even insinuating, like even saying trip her.
She can feel however she wants to feel. I'm not taking away from her feelings.
But that means her intuition, the feeling that she was feeling, that little thing that you get in your gut, it was correct. It was accurate because somebody said trip her. So that means
I don't care if she didn't talk shit.
When did somebody say trip her?
I did, but I'm not.
Was that after? Was this during the comedy thing?
No, this was this was in the hallway. But let me
after she was almost to the door to leave out.
Yeah, that she was leaving. But here's the thing.
I don't even think Shaded heard her say
still,
that.
it was there. Just because she didn't hear it,
it was absolutely said. But when I'm talking about what was said after
doesn't mean it didn't occur.
If she had that intuition before she came, and she could clearly see who all was coming to support, because we had been live the entire day. Everybody saying who's going to be there. So if that intuition was in her, why even show up?
Michelle, I think you're missing something.
That's it. That's all. She wanted to record.
I have some respect for you guys. I really have. Like I'm saying, I didn't say her intuition kicked in before. There are times that we do. We are ladies. We know this, right? There are times we may go somewhere. We may be hyped up to get there. We may feel a certain type of way, but when we get in that environment, something in the environment don't feel right. That is possible. It doesn't mean that intuition kicked in before. It doesn't mean that intuition kicked in when she sat down. But somewhere, somehow, she felt something, possibly. I can't speak for her. There are times that we may feel something. And if somebody said trip her, eventually, how do we know that wasn't a feeling of other people? They just didn't verbalize it. That means somebody, if anybody would offer to trip her, that means they feel some type of way about her. There's some type of disdain that they have for her. That means the energy was off.
But nobody is asking her to support. Nobody is asking her to speak to us. She came to support Netra only. Okay, so she could have had a conversation with Netra, talked about, since she's so supportive. Nobody cared for her to speak to them. It wasn't about us. It was about Netra.
But that was her point. That's what she said on my panel. She said it wasn't about Netra. She said Netra was surrounded by people I didn't know and I don't fool with. She
said was actually sitting right on the edge next to her.
No, I'm talking about when the show was over and everybody got up. She said Netra was surrounded by people I'm not too I'm not too comfortable with. She said that. She made that. I mean, I can't tell her if she's lying or not. But she did make that statement.
But let me just put it in this perspective as well. If the energy for her was uncomfortable, is there a possibility that she made the energy uncomfortable when she came in and didn't speak, didn't acknowledge?
I've been talking about somebody all week. See, let me say this. This is my opinion. My opinion is this, and this is just an opinion, and I hear T and I hear everybody else. But you were uncomfortable when you got there, and that's why you didn't speak. Respectfully.
That was my point.
When she walked in, I'm sitting right here. This is them. You were uncomfortable when you came in and I made eye contact and saw you there. You didn't even speak. So the uncomfortable situation in the trip is way after the show. Yeah, Bryce said that. I know y'all can take that and it'll be another.
Yeah, who gives a fuck?
But what I'm saying is this: when we talk about the comfort, she was already uncomfortable when she got there, and I'm gonna tell you what my opinion is. She had just drugged me on the internet about the interview with Good Yellow. So you've already talked about me. You're already in an uncomfortable position when you got in your car to come. I get it. She wanted to come and be supportive. But I called that bullshit too, because she recorded it. She recorded the show and she went back and she talked about it. She was on bullshit when she got there. Me feeling this way. Support ain't like my support. How can you say, even like, I got so much I could say. I'm finna be surrounded by a bunch of people. ShadedbySlay was at the birthday party with almost 300 people there. I'm gonna be surrounded by people you probably don't get with. Every time I ever get together, I'm surrounded by people.
That's why people also
take that down and make that be something when Netra always surrounded by support. So I call bullshit on that too, T. So you knew it was gonna be other people there than just me and my sister.
Yeah.
Can I say, what if she had the idea on her own? Like when she thought about it, she was like, man, this probably be a good way for us to like break the tension, because I don't have a problem with her. It's Good Yellow that she had a problem with. And then boom, she came in and then she was like, yeah, I think this is a badass idea, but I don't want to leave. I'm just gonna sit here and see what happened.
Deb said, and Deb said, and some people dragged her before and after the interview, in my opinion, which I do agree with. But I will say this, Netra, you are going to go, you are doing it, right? You are doing your thing. You are being consistent. You are staying steady in your lane. And the bigger that you get, the more people are going to show up, and they're all not going to speak to you. They are not going to say nothing.
That's not the problem. I'm not an amateur at life. That's not an issue. I wouldn't give a fuck. Let me make myself clear. I don't need everybody in the room to speak to me. That's not the issue. I'm talking about a female that talked about me on the internet, showed up at my event, did not speak, okay, and came back and drugged me some more. I'm not talking about a TD Jakes the big church and I can't get to all the members. I'm talking about direct, up close and personal. She walked right past me after dragging me on the internet. That could have been a threat to me. So we looking for it to be support, but what if I'd have turned around and slapped her mama because I don't know which way you're going with it because you just drugged me? Then everybody would have said Netra wrong. But that's not what support looked like. That's just my opinion. I'm not stuck on everybody speaking to me.
Real quick, and everything
maybe she was there to see good.
Everything she did was unprovoked. I did nothing to her for her to do all that.
Something you couldn't make up.
Like what I'm saying is, if she was there on some malicious shit, I mean, why wouldn't she be with the rah energy or anything of that nature? She actually came in quiet, left quiet.
Nobody
didn't do nothing to nobody.
Slim, that's not the case. Nobody's doing that. Somebody just said, why would you tell her thank you for coming? Because I'm a cordial bitch and I'm doing like she should have done. That's called courtesy. That's called thank you for coming. Regardless to whether I felt like she was there for me or not, I know how to have decency. It's called class. So when I turned around and told her and her mom, thank you for coming, hey, that's who the fuck I am. I have that type of integrity about myself. So me telling her, thank you for coming, I think I owe that, just like she owed her, hey, how you doing? You did a good job too. So please let's not miss that point, that I was very cordial at the end. I didn't have to speak to them. I could have let them walk straight through there, because had I not spoke to her mom, she never would have said whatever they said they heard her say, respectfully.
And do you think it would be do you think it would be blown out of proportion if it wouldn't have been brought to the app and it would have just been left alone? Like it was like, okay, they came and nobody said nothing about it and just let it go on, but it would just been like, okay, that was, even for you, I can even say that was weird, but Like I didn't get, and she didn't do nothing to me. She didn't sabotage nothing. Didn't try to boo me.
If was a fifth, Slim, me and you both be sloppy drunk on the internet. I really don't want to talk about what if. I want to stick to the facts. I'm not here to talk about what if. What if I'd have slapped her? You see, a while ago I said that somebody said, "Ooh, wow, oh, like can't believe I said it." So we're not going to talk about ifs. What ifs? I'm not here on what ifs. I'm sorry, respectfully. I'm talking about the facts. What happened? I'm sorry, but I'm dealing with the straight facts.
Okay, can I ask T-Baz a question? Is that okay? T-Baz, when you heard her speak up, did you hear her speak up before Miss Netra said something or after?
Well, Miss Netra was talking. It was a lot of people talking. She said it, and as because Miss Netra back was turned, she that must have been the moment she was saying something to her mother or speaking to her mother. But as she was turning around, she was like, "You did great," and that's all she said. But she said it as she was walking, like she didn't stop to say it. She said it as she was walking past Netra. So I can see why Netra probably didn't hear her paying attention, because she said it as Netra was turning back around from speaking to who.
Looking like my words too was, damn, she didn't even speak. So
Yeah, you were looking like
I didn't hear it. I was like, damn, like I know y'all can look at my face and tell. I'm like, damn, she didn't even speak. Like, why come? And
that's what we all said. She didn't.
So
she didn't speak or say it. She just walked through.
What I observed that morning, because some people are saying that after the show Shaded brought it to the internet, that actually, and this is what I observed, that actually isn't true. What happened? Kev was the one who recapped it, and I believe Netra made a statement. Somebody showed up to my event and didn't speak, so it was already stated. It was stated.
No, ma'am, it's not true.
Somebody did make a statement that somebody showed up to me, because how did they know Shaded came and didn't speak? That was already.
We were on live. Bright Eye, I just showed the video. Bright Eye was live, and we're live, and she walked through there. And so it was being said on.
So people were saying it online. She didn't initially start talking about it. So I apologize for that. She didn't initially start talking about it. People were saying she came. So it wasn't that she brought this to the internet and started talking about it.
She took it to break the panel, T.
I was in the panel. She didn't take it to. So she didn't take it to the panel. She didn't go to the panel. I was there. They said Netra had a comedy show. Somebody said, "Where is it?" She said, maybe I could show. No, they asked her, "How was it?" She said it was great. I was in there. She said it was great. Her service started acting up. She then dropped out the panel. They were looking for the clip. So when she was asked about it initially in Bray's Live, they asked her, "How was the show?" She said it was a great show.
Can I say something? I wasn't there, but I did view the live. I was on live. Her actions spoke to, I'm getting out of here. I ain't saying shit to nobody. Until we saw that rewind, we didn't even know she said what little bit she said. So it looked like she was just dipping, period, without saying anything. That was the optics of it. And if Netra didn't hear it, it didn't exist. If you don't hear something, it don't matter. If you can't tap me on my shoulder and say, "Hey, what's up?" and I don't hear it, it doesn't exist.
She said she touched me. I heard her say she tapped me on my shoulder.
The optics was her dipping up out of there as quickly as possible. That's what it looked like. I don't know if I'm the only one that looked at it like that, but that's what it looked like to me.
So somebody acknowledging that it was said. So you can't say because I didn't hear it, it didn't happen. You can say it didn't happen to you, but if your homegirl say, no, it was actually said, what you gonna say? Well, nope, it didn't happen because I ain't hear it. Like we can miss
And I'm
things.
not saying that it didn't happen, but if you don't hear somebody, what if the girlfriend wasn't there to say, "Oh, I heard her say it," and you still didn't hear it? It doesn't exist
It does
unless you hear
exist.
it.
You just didn't hear it.
Exactly,
That's okay.
but that's
But
in
she
the air.
said
That's
about
vapor.
Auntie
Is all
Netra,
I'm saying. Unless it was intentional. I'm in your face. This was a great show. Hey, it was a great show, and she could have still dipped. The video looked
Well, if
like
that's
she
the
was
case,
trying
then
to
why
hustle up
everybody
out of there
why,
because she was
if that's the
uncomfortable.
case, if that's the case, why so many people beefing on this internet? Because y'all don't hear half the shit that y'all respond to. Y'all don't hear half the shit that y'all respond to out y'all own ear. A person come over here and say the motherfucker said you a fat bitch, and immediately the motherfucker be like, well, they a fat bitch, they mama fat bitch, they daddy a fat bitch. So
well,
if that's the
everybody is
case,
different.
if it didn't, okay, I'm saying if we saying it didn't happen, because we didn't actually hear it, I think we pick and choose on what we decide to acknowledge. Is
I'm
my
not
point.
speaking for Netra. I'm
if
not
she
saying
didn't
it didn't
hear it,
happen
she
for her. I'm
didn't
not
hear it.
speaking for anybody but myself and my
It's
interpretation.
really up to Auntie to
that's being
acknowledge if she
told?
heard that, or she said she didn't. So
It
What's
looked like
what's
she
the
was just trying to
question,
dip
though?
out the venue, period. That's what it looked like, period.
Are we trying
If
to
you
figure
look
out
at
if she came to support? Is that what the question is?
I don't think she did, but let me say
Because
this.
it looks like she
I
came to
do want
blow.
to say this. This is, see, a lot of people missing the whole, a lot of people missing if I wouldn't have spoke, she wasn't going to speak. So I'm not shunning Slim, but I'm telling Slim that I don't want to live off what if. If I wouldn't have never spoke to that woman, y'all, ShadedbySlay was walking through there. If they would tell the truth, her mom had already passed me. I turned around and spoke to her mother. I'm turned like this. Y'all didn't see the video? So my thing is, we're still talking about the intentions. What were their intentions? How is it your mom knows me? Her mom came to my birthday party. If I wouldn't have spoke, Shaded wouldn't have never said what they said she said. Her mom had already made it past me. I remember speaking to the mama, Slim. I remember that.
And I'm not denying none of that happened. All I do is I just be paying attention, like human behavior shit. You see a group of people and then you kind of feel tension shit. I'm gonna be quiet too. Even me as a man, I could be out with a group of people that I thought, you know what I'm saying, shit was cool, and then I see it's a little weird. I'm finna stay quiet until I figure out what's the energy, and I'm gonna be on point and watching just to make sure I'm good. So even in her scenario, walking through a crowd of y'all, it wasn't no, you saw her, she saw you, it wasn't never a break of the tension. You know what I'm saying? You gonna watch how you tread. And then once she saw you spoke to her mama, that's what she gathered enough courage to say, you did great. Now, you might not have heard it, but I think that she was trying, I really believe that there was no malicious intent in her going to your thing. I really think that she came for support. The only way I would feel like she didn't come for support is if she heckled you, or if she tried to start some shit with y'all while she was there, or she came back and she drugged the show on the internet and tried to make fun of your performance. Not only did she go, she didn't bother nobody, and then she got back on the internet and said you did a great job. So it don't look like her intentions were malicious at all.
Somebody give me those clips.
Can I add to that?
I've been here.
I was in there, Netra.
Every clip I heard. I'm not saying she didn't say it, just like I'm not gonna say she didn't speak, because T-Boz, her word is credible, not nosy. They said she spoke, so she could have been speaking while I was speaking to her mom. I get that. Good. I hear you, Slim. I hear you loud and clear. At the end of the day, something you just said did happen. She did come back to the internet and drug me. Now, I know a lot of people saying she did it after I called her mom pathetic. Hey, I give her that too. But I call a bunch of bullshit on this, and I'm not going to give up the fact that I think her intentions were not good. All this aftermath, I will give her the after. But when you go to a doctor's office, it's always a chief complaint, the beginning. I'm talking about the starting point. The woman talked about me 2 days prior to my event. 2 days prior. So her coming and seeing me as soon as she got there and not speaking, what was the intentions at that point? I get what y'all saying, but everybody was sitting down. We were already there. Everybody was grooving. We were laughing, having fun. She was not in an uncomfortable position. Nobody sized her up or her mom. So what about the beginning?
She was sized up when they were saying let's trip her. So regardless if she was sized up at the time you felt, the moment somebody said let's trip her, it was
that
sized
was
up.
said at the end, wasn't it, T?
When that was
All
said.
of this happened at the end.
No, she wasn't even around when that was said.
It doesn't matter if she was around.
No, but you can't say that. No, she wasn't around. All she heard was, what she heard was, "Who is that? I know you fucking lying." And she was already past everybody. She had passed me. She was leaving.
Hold on.
It was said. So when you say something like let's trip somebody, you sizing them up already in your mind before you thinking of let's tripping them. So regardless of when you said it and how it was said, you said it, which means your intentions wasn't pure. The moment that you said let's trip somebody,
of course,
you was on that. You was on that one thing.
Here's the thing. I'm not Netra's representative. I don't speak for her. My intentions are not pure at all. I don't fuck with her. And she's quite, and she knows
that's what she said.
And she knows that exactly. So of course, I mean, I don't give a damn how she feels about what I said or how I was, the energy I was giving her. I don't.
But that was her point. That proves her point.
That's the energy.
That's what she said. She said there were people around her that aren't too fond of me, that I don't feel, and she had a right to, because if a person gonna say let's trip her, she's right on her.